let's get right into this. Sometimes I love what the NFL does. Sometimes I hate what the NFL does. But I love the sport, love to bet it, love to watch it, just like we all do. This is one of those rulings where I say to myself, what are we actually doing? And to keep the people updated, the hip drop tackle, the competition committee has unanimously voted on it, and it's going to be in this year, which means that if you use a quote-unquote hip drop tackle, it will be a 15-yard penalty, and you'll be getting a FedEx envelope to your locker probably that Monday or Tuesday morning for the player there is. Here's what I always like to see. The NFL Players Union, which always sticks up for the players. They want better turf. They want better salaries. I understand that. When the NFLPA goes, we don't want this ruling implemented, it doesn't make any sense to our players, which includes some of the players that are getting hurt. I tend to think, what are the NFL owners doing? Unanimous support, an undefeated vote here. I can't stand this ruling, Joe. How about you?
You know, Donnie, they released, the NFL released an actual video showing the examples of what they're talking about, right? And I'm sorry, it looks like a tackle. It looks like anybody. It looks like any, they're acting as if everybody on the defense is twice the size of the offensive players, and they're trying to protect these small little offensive players. If you are, I don't know, a defensive back at 195 trying to stop a Mark Andrews or a Kelsey who's twice as, like, how does that work? Like, what are you supposed to do here? I think it's absolutely horrific for the game.
You're watching and listening live to the Early Line on a Tuesday morning edition. It's Joe, it's Donnie here, breaking down the hottest topics across the sports landscape. Welcome to the radio audience, Sirius XM channel 159. And let's get back to this, because you're so right. The clips that they were showing here, you're saying to yourself, what do you want the defenders to do? Now, way back in the day when Roy Williams played for the Dallas Cowboys, what he would do is sprint up to a player, and instead of tackling him, let me put my two hands into your nameplate here and into your shoulder pads and jump on the back of your legs in hoping to snap your legs on the way to do it. Terrell Owens got caught up in that, and in the offseason, they banned the horse collar tackle, and nobody complained about that. But when you're in the NFL and you are a defensive back or a linebacker, and let's just say a seam route by a tight end, and he's in front of you by 2 or 3 yards, they're basically telling you, Joe, you can't tackle that guy. Just let him run 40 more yards for a touchdown, because if you use your weight to bring him down, they're going to say it's a hip drop tackle. I can't stand this move, and you know what's coming next, Joe. You're going to have a ticket in your hand to win a football game and or your favorite team. It's 3rd and 11. The other team doesn't get the first down, but the wide receiver was tackled by a quote-unquote hip drop tackle, a first down ensues, your team loses, your bet loses, and we get angry. Let the fun ensue. But the NFL's not done here. A lot of rule changes coming to fruition, which includes the NFL improving, giving a third challenge to a team if they get only one of their first 2 correct, as opposed to 2, which was the previous rule. I understand we want to get the games right, but you could see 6 challenges a game now stepping in, and also the referees ruling by themselves on what was a catch, what isn't a catch, and what the ruling is. More stoppages. Get ready for more commercials, Joe.
Yeah, it's and more time. And I thought they were trying to speed the game up. Wasn't that what the consensus was a year ago? Like, we want to make sure the game goes fast. Oh, okay. Well, now you're back to slowing the game down and getting more ad revenue. It's getting to be a slippery slope here with this with these rule changes, because now what are they? 2 more rule changes away from just throwing flags out there on guy and just rip his flag off instead, and you'll be good to go. I mean, if I'm a defensive player, I'm trying to figure out how in the world does the game protect me? Exactly, because every rule you come out with protects the offensive side of the ball. So if you want every game to get 50 points or our teams to get 50 points, then just say that at this point.
It's almost like you're headed down professional boxing, right? You know what happens when you step into the ring. Like, over the past 20 years, they haven't said, okay, put headgears on the pros, put rib protectors and flak jackets on. It's just really about points here. Like, what are we getting to in 20 years? It's going to be VR football, virtual reality, where the superstars just play in a contained environment, through their own lenses and nobody gets hurt, but you just see the game play out on the field. It's pretty wild because football, after all, still has to be football. And nobody was asking for this, including the players themselves here. So we'll see some of those moves as they go forward. Here's another move that could be on the horizon. And quite frankly, I don't really understand this unless the price point is correct. It's Odell Beckham Jr. You saw last year. I mean, you want to talk about the biggest theft in the NFL. It was Odell getting about $15 million guaranteed for the Ravens to do absolutely nothing during the regular season and even less of anything in the playoffs here. So now apparently the Miami Dolphins want him as a third wide receiver and have made an offer to Odell Beckham, but he has not committed to that offer just yet. Number one, if the price is right, meaning a veteran minimum, I don't have any issues with this. But if we're talking about the Dolphins who are cash-strapped, losing player after player, like, yeah, let's give Odell Beckham 1 year's $10 million. I'm going to lose it on that Dolphins franchise, Joe.
Yeah, rough sledding here. And the ironic part here, Don, is they've lost a lot on the defensive side, and they still got to figure out what they're going to do with Tua. And even, listen, if I'm Odell and I have options, which inevitably he will, and because he continues to get them, Donnie, it's kind of laughable here. But, you know, if Tyreek convinces him that this is the place you want to go, we'll see what happens. But something tells me maybe that's the best they can get, I think, because I don't know in circles in the NFL with receivers how truly believable Tua is as a franchise quarterback.
Let me ask you this quick question, too, because rules might be voted on again today with the new kickoff rule, Joe. You're probably familiar what they're talking about, more that XFL kickoff.
Terrible.
But see, I'm glad you said that because I actually like it. And I'm usually with you, a hater of everything that changes here. But quite frankly, there's two opinions. My opinion is, to be honest, special teams should just go away in the NFL. You want to keep field goal kicking? Okay, I'm okay with that. But punts, just move it 45 yards down the field. We say, okay, it's third down. We're not punting. Just move it 45. The kickoff is ridiculous at this point. Like, just take it away and put the ball at the 25. But if they're not going to do that, I actually like this kickoff rule here. I do.
Well, see, I'm the other way. Like, I think that it's a part of the game, all right? Yeah, technically, it's no different than any other play in the game, right? If I'm lining up to punt the ball, I have to snap the ball, I have to punt the ball, I have to catch the ball, and everything else will take care of itself here. Trying to, and I agree with you with the kickoffs, if you're going to kick them through goalposts and kick field goals on the kickoff, then maybe we need to come up with something else. But I'd love, what do we do with the squib kicks? What do we do with those?
Take them out.
What do we do with onside kicks?
Kickers have no place in this game. And by the way, it wasn't too long ago where the NFL was moving the kickoffs back to ensure we got more returns, only to get sued by concussions here.